I'm Linda Carr, and today we'll be doing a yoga practice to mainly work on the hamstrings. And the props you'll need are a folded blanket, or it could be a folded towel, and one yoga block and a yoga strap. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, you could instead use a thick book or maybe two thinner books stacked one on top of the other. And if you don't have a yoga strap, you always could use a belt. Or if you don't have one of those, you could take another bath towel and roll it up like this and use this as a belt. So you might want to put this on pause for a moment to get the props that you need. And then we'll get started. So our first pose will be child's pose. So coming to your mat, come to all fours. And have your hands a little wider than shoulder distance apart, knees wide apart with the big toes in toward each other. And then slide your hands back and sit back on your heels. Make good contact between your sit bones and your heels. And then with your hands back to the mat, walk them forward again. The idea here is to lengthen your spine out as you walk your hands forward, but to keep your sit bones as close down into your heels as you can. So keep going and come up onto your fingertips, lift the palms and the forearms up off the floor. And see if you can get your head right between your two arms. Press your sit bones down, lift your forearms up, lengthen through your back a little more. And then let's lower the elbows down and fold your arms over. And if possible, you can rest your forehead right down on your arms. Close your eyes for a moment. I'm picking my head up here to talk, but keep your forehead down on your arms and bring your awareness into your breathing. And you can even feel your body move as you take breaths. And every time you inhale, feel how you fill up the backs of your lungs. So you'll feel your back ribs expand as you inhale. And then you'll feel everything shrink down and get smaller as you exhale. So take a couple breaths here. And then finish the breath that you're on and come back up to all fours. Take your hands forward of your shoulders by a whole handprint and spread your fingers wide apart. Have your knees and your feet hip distance apart. Tuck your toes under. Let's go to a down dog. So take an inhale. Exhale, lift your knees and press back to downward facing dog. The trick to down dog is to try to strongly press your hands into the mat and lean your weight back into your legs and into your feet. So let's warm up the backs of the legs by pedaling your heels back and forth. Walk the dog. And see if you can get good articulation through the soles of your feet. Wonderful for warming up the feet as well as the back sides of the legs. And then lift both heels sky high and feel like you're trying to spike your tail up. Straighten your legs as best you can. Bring your head between your two arms as best you can. And then sink your heels down to the floor. Now, we know that not everyone gets their heels to touch the floor, but just do the best that you can. And keep pressing those thighs back. Take an inhale. And then exhale, lower your knees down to the floor. Good. Bring your knees and your feet together here, and let's do broken toe pose. This is a great pose to warm up the feet. So tuck your toes under and really press into the bottom knuckles of your big toes. Try to bring your heels together and then sit back on your heels. Oh, this is a great pose for the feet. And then roll your thighs in toward each other. It's usually helpful to reach back and try to pull your pinkies away from the other toes. Sometimes they get munched under a little bit. Now you stay in your pose. I'm just going to turn to face you. And then interlace your fingers and inhale, bring your arms straight up over your head. So crisscross your pinkies and try to get the tips of your thumbs to touch each other and press those palms up. Lift your shoulders up
Lift your spine tall. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower back down. And then reinterlace your fingers. Offset them by 1 notch and press out through your palms. Inhale, bring those arms straight up over your head. Lift your thumbs. Try to tip your pinkies back. Roll your armpits forward. So here we are. We're trying to distract you from what's going on in your feet, right? So keep sitting down into your heels. Really, really good pose. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, lower your arms down. And then come to all fours and pat your feet. So you just kind of release your feet and bring your feet together, flatten them to the mat, and sit back on your heels. Vajrasana. So this is stretching the tops of the feet. We're opening up the front sides of the ankles. And then let's do a twist. Inhale, bring your arms up. So the idea is to sharpen your arms. Make them straight, make them strong. And lift the shoulders up towards your ears. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist open to your left. Right hand outside your leg, left fingertips on the floor behind you. Now take a big inhale to lift your spine. And then exhale, come into your twist. So once you're in your twist, this is a great time to draw your abdominals in. Every time you inhale, try to lift that spine taller. And then as you exhale, just explore the edge of the twist. Turn your head to gaze out over the left shoulder. To come out, inhale, bring your arms up, square to the front, reach up a little higher. And then exhale, twist over to your right. Take an inhale here. Exhale, draw the abs in, and then let's see where we can go. Good. Turn your head to gaze out over your right shoulder. Take an inhale here. Exhale. Your arms up, and then float your hands down. Nice job. So let's do something to warm up the abs up now. Navasana. So for part of this pose, you might need your yoga strap or your towel if you didn't have a belt or a strap. So have that close by too. And I'll turn sideways so you can better see the pose. So sit with your feet and your knees drawn in toward each other. So let's do a half boat, a boat with bent knees first. Take your hands behind your legs, press your knees in toward each other. Scoop your abdominals in and let your upper back broaden. Bring your feet up off the floor and bring your shins parallel to the floor. So fan your toes wide. What goes on in your feet really helps to affect the pelvic floor. So press your thighs in toward each other, fan your toes, scoop your belly in, broaden your upper back, and then if you can, you take your arms out to the sides and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower your feet back down. Good. So now let's do a different variation, and you could use a yoga strap for this one, or your towel. Take a strap around both feet, and again, the feet and the knees are drawn in toward each other. And before we lift the legs up, scoop your belly in, broaden up your upper back, lift your feet up off the floor, and then you can straighten your legs. Good. Fan your toes wide. Press the heels and the ball mounds out and away from you. And then if you can drop your strap and stay in your boat for 4. Fan your toes wide. 3, draw the abs in. 2, broaden your shoulder blades. 1, and release. Nice job. And the soles of your feet together. Just release a little bit. Butterfly those knees a little bit. Hands come to the outer knees. Lift your knees and straighten your legs. All right, you can move your strap off of the mat. And let's do down dog again. Hands come forward of the shoulders, a whole handprint. Spread those dog paws wide. Tuck your toes under. Inhale. Exhale. Downward facing dog. This time, let's just stay in our dog pose. Squeeze your quadriceps, your front thighs into the thigh bones. Press back through your heels.
Strongly press your hands into the mat, really pressing into the bottom knuckles of your thumbs and index fingers. Sharpen your arms and take your head between your two arms. Make yourself into a nice, crisp, upside down V. And then walk your hands toward your feet and your feet towards your hands. Come halfway up with your hands on your shins. This is half forward bend. So broaden your collarbones and have a concave back. Lift your tail, lift your chin. Broaden your collarbones wide. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk your hands down the legs for a forward bend. So keep your legs straight. If your hands can reach the floor while keeping your legs straight, that's great. But if not, keep your legs straight and just hold on to your legs. Let's come halfway up again. Hands up on your legs. Inhale to half forward bend. Press the thighs back. Roll the thighs in toward the midline. Take an inhale. Exhale, slide your hands down your legs again toward the floor. Now, if it's easy for you to put your hands on the floor, you could put your hands to the sides of your feet. If that is easy, you could take your hands to the backs of your ankles, straighten your arms and lift and resist. That's stronger still for the hamstrings. Take an inhale. Exhale, let it go. Hands to your waist, everyone. Squeeze your elbows back. Inhale, slowly lift and rise. And come on up to standing. Beautiful. So walk up to the front edge of your mat. Let's do a slow motion flow. Feet hip distance apart. Arms are down by the sides. Inhale, bring your arms up over your head. This is called Urdhva Hastasana. Try to get your biceps close to your ears. Sink your heels down, lift your fingertips up. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, bend your knees for chair pose. This is called Utkatasana. So in this pose, try to get your hips way back behind you. Weight yourself back into your heels. Fan your toes wide. Pull your toes up off the floor and then put them back down. And then reach up even higher, even though you're sinking your hips down. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Uttanasana. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Now step your feet back for a plank. And a full plank if possible. If you need to lower your knees to the floor for a half plank, that's fine. If you're in this full plank, you're going to press your hands into the mat. Sharpen your arms. Press your heels to the back wall and draw your abs in. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower slowly all the way down to the floor. Good. Keep your toes tucked for now. And then squeeze your glutes. Then lift your kneecaps up off the floor. And then slide your body forward a little bit. Straighten your arms and come on into upward facing dog. Press into the bottom knuckles of your thumbs. Press your heels back. Broaden your collarbones. Take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ooh, feeling good now. Bring your feet together. Lift your right leg up for a three-legged dog. Let those toes really lift. Bend your knee and roll your hip open. You can turn your head to the right, gaze out to the side wall from underneath your right arm. Inhale, lift your leg up again. Exhale, step your right foot next to your right thumb. Lower your left heel down, and let's come on up to Warrior One stance. So press strongly into the outer edge of your left heel, and see that your right knee is right over your right ankle. Turn your chest forward, and if that's too hard to get your body to turn, then turn your left toes forward even more. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Reach up high. Get your shoulders up by your ears, but lower your pelvis down and press into the outer edge of your left heel. Good. Take one more deep breath. As you inhale, straighten your front leg. Now lower your arms. Step your left foot forward about 1.5 inches. Turn your toes forward even more. Inhale, arms up over your head. Keep both legs sharp and straight. Exhale, hinge forward. Pyramid pose.
Fingertips can come to the floor, or hands can be up on your shin, or if your hamstrings are really long, you might be able to take your hands right to the mat. Pull your outer right hip back in the direction of your left heel. Draw the abs in, lengthen through your spine. You may fold over that front leg any amount that's possible. Good. Come on back up. Bend your front knee. Step your left foot back again. Come to that runner's lunge. Take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, slowly lower to the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your kneecaps up off the floor. Pull your body forward a little bit. Straighten your arms, lift up for up dog again. Good. Broaden your collarbone. Shoot your heels back. Look straight ahead. Hold for another breath. Take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Look forward to your left thumb. Oops, sorry. Feet together. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Let's do a 3-legged dog first. Lift the toes sky high. Bend your knee and roll the hip open. Whoops, my foot is going into the bookcase here. Press strongly into the right heel and turn your head to gaze to the side wall. Inhale, lift your leg back up. Exhale, step your left foot up by your left thumb. Lower your right heel and then come back up. Warrior One stance. Turn your right toes forward quite a bit. Press into the outer edge of your right heel. Deeply bend your left knee. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. Lower your pelvis down. Lift your shoulders. Keep pressing into the outer edge of your right heel. Abdominals come in. Nice, strong warrior stance. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Turn your right toes forward even more. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward. So reach, reach, reach. Lengthen through your spine. Sharp, straight legs. Lower your hands down either to your shin or fingertips to the floor. Or you may be able to get your hands to the mat. Roll that outer left hip back towards your right heel. Legs are strong. Quads are engaged. You may deepen your pose if you can. Forehead may come down. Good. Bend your front knee. Come up to your fingertips. Step that right foot back a little more. Runner's lunge. Hands to the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale to downward facing dog. Take another breath here just to settle in and take your weight back into your legs. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, lower slowly to the floor. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze the glutes, lift the kneecaps. Pull your body forward a little bit. Come back up. What last time now? Upward facing dog. Press those heels back. Lift the thighs up. Broaden your collarbones. Open your chest. Inhale here. Exhale to downward facing dog. Ooh, it feels good now. Beautiful. Take another breath or two here. And then look forward to your hands. Step one foot and then the other up. Take your hands to your waist. Squeeze your elbows back toward each other. And come on up to standing. How does that feel? Pretty good? Good. So let's do Hasta Padangusthasana. We'll do a warm-up and then we'll do the full pose. So this is standing on one leg with the other leg lifted. So put your weight into your right foot. Charge up your right leg by drawing your quad into the thigh bone. Lift the quads up. And then bend your left knee. Take your hands underneath your left thigh. And just find your balance here. Draw that outer right hip in. Lift through your right leg. And then see if you can straighten your left leg. And press your heel and the ball mount forward. So here's a challenge. Can you bring your arms up over your head? Reach up. Press your heel forward for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lower down. Shake it out. That's a good pose. Put your weight into your left foot. Relax your toes. Spread your toes. Squeeze the thigh, muscle into your thigh bone. Draw your outer left hip in. Stand tall. Pick up your right knee. Hands go underneath your thigh. Good. And then once you've got your balance, go ahead and straighten your leg out. Roll that right hip down. That hip wants to hike up, but we want to level the hips as best we can. Take an inhale. Exhale. Lower back down. So here's your challenge pose. You could actually repeat what we just did. That's your first option. Second option would be to take your towel or your strap and to take your leg up this way. Your third option would be to take your, do a yogi toe hold around your big toe, take your leg forward and balance this way. 3 options here, right? So choose which one you'd like. Put your weight into your right foot. Really align that right hip. Pull the hip in, charge up your right quad. Pick up your knee. So either put the strap or towel around your foot or grasp your big toe. Take your leg out to the front. Roll that outer left hip down, and if you'd like, you can take your right arm up. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. And then lower down. Shake it out. All right, let's go for the other side. Weight into your left foot. Relax the toes. Relax the foot. Charge up your quad. Pull your outer left hip in. And then either use your strap or use your yogi toe hold. Take your leg out to the front. Roll your outer right hip down. Take your left arm up. Here we go for 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Okay. And then come on down. Beautiful job. Shake it out of your arms. Shake it out of your legs. Good. Time to go on. So stand in the middle of your mat. Let's do some standing poses here. Hands to your collarbones. Inhale. Exhale. Step your feet wide. So how wide? Point your fingertips down and align your ankles underneath your fingertips. And then lower your arms. Turn your right thigh and right toes out. Hook your left foot in. For today, align your right heel to the middle of your left arch. Good. Press into the outer edge of your left heel as you lower your pelvis down and bend your right knee for Warrior 2 pose. So in this pose, it's very easy to kind of lean down, kind of push into your left thigh. So you want to straighten the left leg and roll the thigh outward and press the thigh back. Take your arms out to the sides. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears and strongly reach your fingertips to the far walls. Virabhadrasana 2. The secret to this pose, I think, or the key to it, is to press more weight into the outer edge of that left heel and charge up your left leg more. So now, straighten your right leg. Let's go to a triangle pose. Inhale. Exhale, giant hip tip. And keep that right leg straight and draw your right quad up towards your hip. And then float your right hand down and then take your left arm straight up. Reach your 2 arms away from each other. See if you can take your right hand to the back side of your right calf. And remember to really anchor yourself back into your left heel. Press your right lung forward. Push your left lung back. Legs are sharp and straight. Arms are sharp and straight. You may look straight ahead. If you wish, though, you may look up at your upper hand. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, lower your arms down. Soften your knees and turn your toes forward. Pause for a moment before we go on. Notice what you feel. Good. Turn your left toes out. Turn your left thigh out and hook your right foot in. For today, align your left heel to the middle of your right arch. Turn your chest forward. Take your pelvis down. Your left knee will bend. Good. So charge up that right leg. Roll your right thigh back. Press into the outer edge of your right heel. Torso is tall, straight up and down. Arms out to the sides. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears. This is warrior pose. This is strong, beautiful pose, right? You can feel the power of the legs in this pose. You can feel the work in your hips. Now straighten both legs and then take an inhale. Exhale, let's approach triangle pose. So giant hip tap, reach, reach, reach. Float your left hand down, right arm up. Take your left hand to the back side of your calf and reach your two arms away from each other. Charge up through both legs sharp and straight. Press into the outer edge of your right heel. Everything's so active in this pose. Alive, you can feel the energy. You may look straight ahead. You may gaze up towards your upper hand if you wish. And then inhale, come on up. Don't turn your toes straight ahead. Release your arms down. And then heel, toe, your feet in toward each other. Let's come to Tadasana, to pause for a moment. Rest for a moment. Okay, one more standing pose is Ardha Chandrasana 2. That's half moon pose. So most of us need to use either a block, or if you don't have a block, you can use a book. So for today, I will use a book just to demonstrate how a book would be used. So walk to the left end of your mat and step your right foot out. I'm mirroring you here. And take your book in front of your foot several inches and then push it back like in the direction of your pinky toe. There you go. And then turn your chest forward. So take your right hand down onto the block. Your block has to be forward a little bit so that when you come into the pose, your shoulder is over your wrist. And then slowly straighten your right leg and lift your left leg. Sharpen both legs. You're bending that upper foot and your toes point forward. And then take your left arm straight up. Good, boy, this is good balance pose. Push your right lung forward. Press your left lung back. If you want to challenge yourself even more, turn your gaze up toward your upper hand. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly come down. Come back to triangle pose and then come on up to standing. That's a wonderful pose, isn't it? We should do that every day. Let's go to the other side. Stand on the other end of your mat. Take your block forward. Step your left foot forward. So actually your block or your book should be about 17 inches away from your foot. And make sure your left foot is pointing straight to the far wall. So leaning down, hand goes on the block. Turn your chest open toward the front. Slowly straighten your left leg and lift your right leg. So right here at the bookcase, I get to put my foot on the bookcase. That's fun. Reach your two arms away from each other. Charge up your legs. Open up your arms. Everything's strong. Everything's stable. Everything is open. You may look straight ahead, or you may turn your head to gaze up toward the ceiling. Maybe take another breath. Take an inhale. Exhale slowly. Make your way back down. And come on up to standing. Oh, boy, that feels good. All right, and so finally, one more standing pose before we come down. Take your block or your book, Prasarita Padottanasana. This is a straddle leg forward bed. The block or book is to place your head on in case you need a little bit of height. I'm actually going to turn sideways. I'll be off of my mat here, but you get the gist of this. Take your feet far apart. So you should be here. You should be here on your mat with both of your feet on the mat. I'm just turning now. And point your toes straight ahead. Take your hands to your waist. Squeeze your elbows back. Inhale, lift your chest, look up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, keep a nice straight back. Draw the abs in and forward bend. But then put your fingertips on the floor. You might find that it's a little bit easier if you take your feet a little bit further apart. but try to keep your legs sharp and straight if you can. And then lower your head down to your support if you can reach. For some of us, we might even be able to put our heads right on the floor, our head on the floor, like this. And bend your elbows and have your hands about shoulder distance apart. Legs stay straight and strong. You're looking at the wall behind you if possible. And this is where you bring it all down. You kind of cool off a little bit. Bring your focus more into your breath. If your head is on a block, you might find you can lower the block to a lower height the longer you stay here. This is an inversion. This is taking the head lower than the heart, and we're sustaining the pose for a while, so we're affecting the nervous system here. All right, and then slowly walk your hands forward. Come up to your fingertips so that your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Bring your feet slightly closer together. And then take your hands to your waist and squeeze your elbows back behind you. And inhale, slowly lift and rise. And come on up to standing. Doesn't that feel good? And then bring your feet in toward each other. Good. Let's come on down to the floor. Today, nothing fancy. Just come on and sit down. And I would like you to get your towel or your blanket to sit on that. And have your yoga strap or your rolled up towel close by also. So start off by sitting on your blanket or towel. Make sure, by the way, it's not all wrinkled. We want it to be nice and flat and even. Legs out to the front. All right, a twist. Marichiasana. Hands underneath your left knee, lift your knee, and draw that left heel close to your sit bone. Keep your right leg out to the front, nice and straight. Fan the toes wide. Hook your right elbow around your knee and take your left hand back behind you. Nice tall spine here. Take an inhale, and then exhale, twist open to your left. Now, one way I like to work this particular twist is to press that right heel away from me and to draw my left shoulder away from my right heel. So I have those 2 points of contact. Abdominal squeeze in, head turns over the left shoulder. Breathe. Take an inhale, please. And then exhale, come on out. I love twists. Straighten your left leg. Hands underneath your right knee. Lift your knee up and scoot that right heel in. Sharpen that left leg. Ball mound and the heel press to the front. Elbow hooks around your knee. Right hand behind you. Ready? Take an inhale. Exhale. So press that left heel forward. Allow your right shoulder to come on back. So in this variation, in this kind of twist, I mean, you can allow your pelvis to move just a little bit. Just kind of a very nice for the sacral joint. It's very safe. And then take another breath here. Inhale. And then exhale. Come on out. Straighten your right leg out onto the floor. So the next pose is Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. So bend your left knee out to the side and take your left foot to the top of your right thigh. You may want to move your blanket just to the side a little bit. Just kind of angle it a little bit. And then this is where you could use your towel or your yoga strap. I'll use the towel this time. Turn your chest to square over your right shin. Straighten your arms. Lift your spine. Really resist your strap and your foot against each other. Take an inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. You can see how your elbows come out to the sides because you want the shoulders to stay open. You don't want to round your upper back here. So if you can come forward very far, you might be able to walk your hands closer to your foot. Or if you have pretty long arms, you may be able to put your hands on your foot and do the pose this way. Lengthen through your spine. Keep squeezing your right quad, into the thigh bone, and draw that muscle up. And then to complete the twist, you can lower it down any amount. As long as there are no issues in your back here, you stay nice and safe. You come to that place that feels good. And then inhale. Come on up. Good. Straighten both legs and straighten out your support. And then right knee comes out to the right side, and then you can turn your blanket or towel. Left leg to the front, and then use the straight up or towel. And then turn your chest towards your left leg. You can see how this forward bend has this little twist involved. So here we go. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward. The idea here is to align your breastbone with your shin as you come forward, and to keep your spine very straight, very long, very tall. And then you might be able to walk your hands closer to your foot, like this. Or like I said, if you've got pretty long arms, you might be able to hold on to your foot. And then really, you're really using your left quad by drawing it up. And press the top of your left sit bone, or press your left sit bone down. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you may be able to come down more. Good. And then inhale. Come on up, and then one more pose, and I'm going to think maybe better if I turn sideways on this pose to show you, but you stay facing front. So bend your right knee again, and then bend your left knee, and this time I'm going to say put your hands on your foot. So rather than to use a strap or a towel, let's just try it. Both of your hands on your foot, and then take your left heel up off the floor. Draw your abs in, and then try to straighten your legs. So if you can't get your legs straight, maybe you've got a long leg and short arms or something, but go as far as you can go. And then if you can straighten your leg, you go ahead and do it, right? Lift your chest, and then really press your heel and the ball mound away from you. And then just for fun, take an inhale, exhale, give your knee a little kiss. There. All done. Okay, other side. I'll turn over. I'll turn the other way. Bend your right knee out. Bend your left knee out. Straighten your right leg. Hold on to your foot. Here we go. Straighten your leg out any amount. Now, if you really did want to use a yoga strap here, you could, but this is just an interesting pose, I think. And if your leg is bent, just do the best you can to straighten it out. Press away through the heel and the ball mound of your foot. Abdominals are in, your chest is open. You can try to bring your leg closer to your face if you like. And then the ending touch here just for fun. Take an inhale. Exhale, give me a kiss. Okay, and there we go. And then straighten your legs out to the front. So one more seated pose. You may use a strap for this one also. Have your feet together, legs together, and you're going to roll your thighs in toward each other. So this is a seated forward bend. So this is probably the toughest hamstring stretch that we have. Put the strap around the ball mounds of your feet and resist your feet in the strap against each other. Straighten your arms, lift up through your chest. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, abdominals draw in. Notice how my elbows come out to the side. So I'm not rounding my back. I'm letting my shoulders open. And then if you can come forward very far, you can start to walk your hands closer to your feet. You might be able to hold on to your feet. Keep your legs straight as best you can. Press the very tops of your thighs down toward the mat. And then for the very end of the pose, take a big inhale, and then exhale. See how far you can go. There should be no pain in your low back here. If your low back is not happy, you come on back up. And then inhale. Come on out of the pose. What a beautiful pose. Stretching the hamstrings, I always feel, is kind of very calming to the nervous system. And then come on down to your backside with your feet on the floor, your knees are bent. And this is a great place to kind of assess how things are around the back of your pelvis there, your sacral joint. So try to have even amount of weight on the left part of your sacrum and the right side. Be nice and stable here. And then slowly lift your hips up. And then exhale your hips down. So this is a back bend, but it's a very mild one, a very gentle one. Inhale, lift your hips. We're not lifting up very high. And exhale down. One more time. Inhale to lift. We're not working too hard. And then lower down. And then one more pause. You're going to take your legs straight up overhead. Feet about hip distance apart. Take your arms back behind your head and let your hands rest on the floor. If you have a shoulder issue and this is not comfortable, you can allow your arms to be out by the sides. Feel the entire length of your spine on the floor. And then bring both knees into your chest. Gently rock side to side. And then take your feet to the floor and stretch your legs out for a beautiful Shavasana with your arms down by your sides. So this is a great time for you to allow yourself to just be still for as long as it feels good. After a practice like we just had, I would say at least a 5-minute rest would be a wonderful thing. So allow your thighs to roll open and allow your feet to tip away from each other. Allow your arms to relax out by your sides and just release any tension you might feel in your hands. Neutral hands. Neck is soft, face is soft. Bring your awareness into your breathing. Notice how your chest lifts every time you inhale. Notice how it sinks down whenever you exhale. All right, and then slowly bend your knees and then roll over onto one side. And then use your hands to slowly push your way up. And let's come back to seated now. You can cross your legs. Beautiful. Rest your hands on your knees. Thank you so much for practicing. I hope it felt good. Bring your hands to your heart center. Namaste.